Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Software Inc. and welcome back to Nerdrosoft. It seems like we're all in agreement that while I was heading for that sort of New York building thing with Nerdrosoft's new headquarters, I did squarely land at Legion of Doom, or Gotham City Police Department is another one that I've seen a little bit here and there, and I'm kind of okay with either of those. This building, I was a little bit skeptical about it, but it's kind of grown on me a little bit, and I kind of like what we have here. And yes, it will absolutely end up on the Steam Workshop. In fact, if I just check my watch here, I'm not wearing a watch. I know you can't see it, but just let's go with it here. As of right now, it is in fact on the Steam Workshop, and there will be a link in the video description if you want to go check this out and download it for your own company in Software Inc. So right off the bat, I want to start working on an expansion for Dungeons 3 Dimensions. Now, I have seen a bit of a conversation about Dungeons 3, specifically about how realistically there's not that many people with systems that can run 3D video games right now, so it makes sense that it's going to be a little bit slow off the mark, which I think is okay. I think we'll make this work. As we've seen with Dungeons 2, it didn't really pick up until a good few months after release, and then it dropped off pretty severely, and then it shot up again over 2 years after release. So we have plenty of time with Dungeons 3 for it to hopefully find its footing. That's going to be the idea anyway, although we might have to make our own operating system and really push for 3D support on that operating system. But I think what we're going to do right now, like I said, is start working on an expansion pack for Dungeons 3 Dimensions. And I saw a suggestion from Dylan OC220, a fellow Dylan, hello, who said we should call it Homestead and consider it something like player housing. And I love this as an idea because one of my favorite things, oh man, this is a deep cut for me. I used to play a lot of RuneScape way back in the day. I played RuneScape when player housing was first added, and I got really into it. And that's one of my favorite memories of like player housing in a video game. I never really got into it with any of the Elder Scrolls games, although I think Skyrim has an expansion or something like that does it. But anyway, I love the idea of Homestead being the name of this expansion. I love the idea of player housing. And I guess what we could do is add a little bit of character customization to this for the 3D characters. We could add some new environmental objects, which is going to be kind of important. Maybe there's a little bit of music in your house as well. A little bit of dialogue maybe to go along with building your house, and maybe a hint of a new story that like unlocks player housing for you. That's kind of my thinking for this. So we're doing a little bit of everything, basically. We do need a little bit more story down here, so let's do a little bit more music, a little bit more dialogue, and I guess a little bit more character customization. And that seems pretty good. That sort of maxes out every part of the market, which is great news. Source control is going to be source control, 2D editors, Palette Pro, Voxel, Harmony 2. Sounds good by me. The guys working on this, I want to say we'll go 3D team. We're missing a level 1 audio artist, so this is going to be, again, we're kind of throwing the core team at this. They're doing a lot of things right now, but we are going to work to deal with that. I don't know if we need 3 teams working on this, but I would imagine it'll go quite quickly, is what I'm thinking. It's going to be less than a year to do this. I am very much okay with that. We'll go ahead and start working on it. We can probably make it a top priority for everybody that is working on it, because it's going to be relatively minimal in terms of its requirements. In fact, let's make Voxel 2 a bit less of a priority. Harmony 3 can go up a little bit, but it's still less of a priority than Homestead, and we'll just see what happens. I love the idea of bringing player housing to dungeons. That feels so cozy, it feels right, and it unlocked a genuine core memory for me. That was one of my favorite experiences with RuneScape way back in the day, was getting my house and trying to, because there was like a whole thing where you could invite people to it, and people were holding like parties and stuff like that in their houses when it came out, and you could go and visit other people's houses, and it was such a good time. I love player housing in video games just in general, and that's reminded me that having been playing a lot of Star Wars: The Old Republic recently, I think player housing exists in that, so I might have to really dive into that and see what's going on. Also been playing a lot of Hightail recently, which, by the way, this is something I genuinely sort of want opinions on. It's completely unrelated to Software Inc., but I'll be very quick with this. Hightail, if you don't know what it is made by a bunch of Minecraft modders. It's very good. I really enjoy Hightail, but it is a Minecraft-like in that it's voxel-based and it's an open world and it's survival and you're fighting skeletons and mobs and spiders and blah, 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 blah. There's a bit of Terraria in the game as well, and it feels totally different to anything I've done on this channel, really, although I did play Minecraft on it a few years ago. And actually, I got my start on YouTube gaming with Minecraft back in like 2011, but that's neither here nor there. I kind of want to dabble in Hightail videos, but I'm not sure they're going to work on this channel. So if you know about Hightail, let me know. If you have an opinion, let me know. I could put it on another channel. I did make another YouTube channel specifically for some Battlefield 6 content, and that seems to have gone very, very well. And by that, I mean, I made 2 videos, and one of them really upset the Battlefield player base. And I could pivot that channel into just whatever doesn't work for the ConflictNerd channel. That's my thinking. Let me know in the comments, or don't. It's completely irrelevant to Software Inc. I just wanted to get that out there because I've been thinking about it a lot. Anyway, I want to swing back to talk about some more of the comments on yesterday's episode. A commenter, I'm assuming called Svenja, 1021, suggested adding headphones to all of the computers that have people complaining about the noise. There was a reply to that from GrayMagic857, who said that it will affect their social stats. I think I'm going to take that risk, is what I'm going to do. I think we add some headphones to the offices where people are complaining about the noise, and we maybe take the social hit just a little bit to see how it goes. So that will hopefully get people to stop complaining in the core team space. We haven't really had any complaints up this way. We have had some complaints in this space though with our 3D team. So we'll add some headphones to this room as well. No one's really been complaining over this way, but we'll do it anyway. And I'm probably gonna have to move some of those plants that we have. We can do the same with the antivirus team and their laptops so that they can have a little bit more peace and quiet in here as well. And I want to say that's about everybody that was complaining about noise in this building. Actually, no, there were some noise complaints. I don't know if it was in the last episode, but when I loaded up the save, there were some noise complaints coming from the updates and porting team as well. So we'll get some headphones into this space and see how that works out. Now, what I would like to do, just because it's kind of annoying me, is move the plants over so that they're not sitting inside of the headphones. So we'll do that right there. Do we have to do it on this side? We might have to move it because it's inside the computer a little bit. We'll put the plant right about there. This side looks fine. This side looks okay. This one's actually doing all right as well. This one needs to move to right about there. And I guess that'll be fine. That should work out. Hopefully that will stop people from complaining just a little bit. And from what I can gather, it does seem like people have stopped complaining just a little bit. The headphones are a choice, but it seems like they're working. It's just throw a VR headset on these guys and it's just gonna be really dystopian, but it seems like it's working. So moving on, I want to talk a little bit about HR management and the traits of the people that we're hiring to Nerdrosoft, because there was a comment from Ali Bear that said big brain is the best trait for new hires because it lets them max out their development points so they can have 3 stars in everything. Low, medium, high salaries are tied to age, so hiring high salary people means they show up with a lot of skills, but they're closer to retirement. Since you can afford it, it's actually more efficient to hire low and medium salary employees with the big brain trait. They will level up fast and they'll stay forever because they're only in their 30s. So essentially, if we go for big brain instead of fast learner, we can get people who sort of long-term will be a little better for us. They're going to suck initially, but then, you know, they have no point limits. They can just become experts in everything, I guess, is sort of the idea. I guess I want to say that's how it is. I want to say that's how it works. So I guess what that means is for something like the core team, we could shift over to hiring people who have big brains with lots of wrinkles. What I might do instead, though, because I am considering and I am thinking it might be time to work on an operating system, is we come up to either this floor or we go up again and maybe turn this entire floor into an operating system development space. I sort of like that as an idea. Also, this floor is an interesting one because this is the one that has the all the lights and all of these little windows that are their own separate rooms, which, by the way, I did at one point change all of the lights in there to be blue because I thought it looked kind of interesting having those blue lights on the red brick building. So that's kind of what's going on here. There's going to be just a blue glow in all of these spaces, except for this one, I guess, which is totally fine. But yeah, I think it might be time. I think it might be time to dabble in some operating system development. So let's do a little bit of building up here. I don't want to go too crazy with too much detailing, but I would like to get a little carpet down through the middle here because I feel like we're missing a little something. I would like to do, let's see, how do I want to do this? I think what we'll do is use these guys to get a bit of a weird looking carpet. We'll go ahead and copy those along like this. And that looks all right. I think I can work with that. I think that's kind of cool. This guy is not really going to do much for me, which is fine. Let's grab all of these then. We'll change the patterns to whatever. That's very weird looking. That's kind of cool, actually. I don't hate the little pattern that we have going on there. It's kind of neat, but I think we're just going to change this out for now. I'm just going to go for a white carpet until we come up with whatever color the operating system team is going to be. I just want that through there. I think it's kind of interesting, and I think it's kind of fun. Now, what we can also do is get our operating system team leader in this space. We do need to turn angle snapping to 45 degrees, though, because this thing needs to be basically in the middle of this room. I might also have to go for a slightly smaller grid to get this thing exactly where I want it to be, which is, I want to say there, honestly, is probably fine. It's going to be a bit of a miserable space, though, because there's not actually any, well, there's no windows in this office. So what if we were to do a little something like this? Does that sort of brighten the space up a little bit? I mean, yes, there's windows technically here, but is that interesting? Is that kind of cool? Could we maybe put the Nerdrosoft logo on that wall in there and sort of just have it visible behind? That feels weird. It feels weird. I feel like it should also be a little bit lower. Yeah, that's odd, but I'm gonna do that. Is what I'm gonna do. That'll be totally fine. Let's see. Have we got the right desk color? I think we do, which is great. Let me grab that chair and throw it right behind that computer. We'll get him a laptop because he's a team leader, or they are a team leader, which is fine. And we'll need to do some ventilation in here as well as some carpet work, I think is going to be necessary in here. I think a little bit of a carpet could be kind of nice in this office. I like that a lot. Okay, so I think layout-wise, this is probably about as good as we're going to get. We do have some weird angled desks in some corners, but this space has 10 desks. This space has 10 desks, and we have room for a leader in here. So that gives us a leader plus 20 employees. We've also gone for this pink color that I think looks pretty good. And I think what I'd like to do is try to get that carpet just through some of this space as well. I think it'd be nice to bring a little color into this area. We can then copy that over to the other side, which I'm not entirely sure is going to work actually. So we'll just do that by hand is what we'll do. And I'm slightly tempted to change the colors inside of this office in general. I might go for a slightly lighter floor and for some white desks as well, just to make it a bit brighter. Obviously, we need to put some bookcases in here as well, but I think making the space itself a little bit lighter could be kind of nice to do. At the very least, I do want to get some bookcases into these spaces, which is apparently proving to be a bit of a challenge. So we'll put one right about there. We'll put one right about there as well, which I think is great. Can I get one against that wall? Is that going to be possible? It sure doesn't seem like it, unfortunately. I can get one down here, but that's a little, I don't know, is that tucked away a little bit too much? It might be. It definitely might be. I can't put one on top of the vents either. So maybe we're going to be a little bit limited in what we can do in terms of bookshelves, but we can absolutely go ahead and throw a little clock up here to boost efficiency just a bit. We'll move you over to maybe this wall and get a clock up on this wall. And you know, with a meeting room like this for the operating system team, I really don't think we're going to be beating the Legion of Doom accusations, but I think it looks cool. So this is what we're going for their meeting room. Anyway, I think with everything said and done, with all of this furniture in here, it's probably about time that we go ahead and figure out what we're doing for this operating system team. I also need to bring that little bit of carpet just over here because that wasn't really lined up and it was kind of annoying me. I like this though. I think that looks like a decent enough layout. What we're going to need to do is get ourselves a new team though, and we'll just call it the OS team, or I guess we'll call it we'll go with OS, but we'll go computer. I can spell. We'll go for the computer operating system team because we will eventually be doing phones and consoles. So I think it makes sense that we go and sort of specify that. We can also change their color to that same sort of pink that we have, which is totally fine. And now I need to figure out what exactly we need for a computer operating system. So if we have a look in here, we have computer, console, and phone. For console and phone, we do need to have manufacturing, which I'm very, very tempted to do. I'm very tempted to go really quickly towards phone manufacturing because it's done very well for 2 other companies. But to start with, because we're doing dungeons, because we need more operating systems out there that support 3D rendering, we're going to do it this way. We'll go for computers. Now, I'll come up with a name in a second. We'll go for, we don't have any existing frameworks. We'll go for a new one. We'll go for, you know what? We'll go for the name. It's going to be Doors is what it's going to be. We're doing Doors because NerdOS will probably be our phone operating system. And so the name of the framework is just going to be Frame, as in a door frame. So that makes sense as far as I'm concerned, which I guess is fine. Let's have a look then at the next page. We don't have to worry about operating systems. We have a potential 138 million consumers. And if we look at the market right now, if we look at the competition right now, there's not a lot of it. And the market really wants security, which is interesting. We are supporting 3D rendering. So let's do file encryption. Let's do system recovery. Let's do code signing. That immediately gives us the security that people want, which is great. It brings us up to about here. People probably want user accounts. That gives us a bit more simplicity, which is great. And then customization, we can do things like themes just to make people kind of happy there. We can do a windowing system, I think, to make people happy there. We could do custom themes if we really wanted to, but I think I'm kind of inclined to go in this sort of direction because I think I'm starting to understand how this market analysis thing works. Basically, we analyze the market. The market says, hey, go for security. That's what people care the most about. We've kind of met the desired thing for the market here, but if I now auto balance, it gives us a little, what is that doing actually? We were like up here. Regardless, I want to have the 100% interest. So if I sort of go in this direction just a little bit, I can get that 100% expected interest. Yeah, right to about there. And it's still relatively close to where we were in terms of the market targeting. I want to say that should work. Unfortunately, we're not really doing anything with networking. We're not doing anything with audio right now. But this does give us 100% interest. It is approximately 3 years. That should be fine, is my thinking. If we look at the next page, it's a lot of systems, 2D, 3D audio networking. It's a bit of 2D art. So we don't really need much in the way of artists for this, which is probably for the best. We will probably want some two-star 2D artists, but we'll figure this out is what we're going to do. And I guess that's kind of how we're going to do it. $146. I'm inclined to bring that down to $135 just to make it a little bit cheaper. And I think I'm not going to project manage it. I'm going to minimize this though, because we want to go and look at our computer operating system team. We want to look at HR management. We want to handle, really? It's the middle of, it's okay. This is good. Actually, this will give us an idea of whether or not my security works. They're being very, very sneaky, which is great. This employee they're off the clock, so they don't care. That one's wearing some really rad sneakers. That feels like a bit of a give-up. Like they're all dressed in black except for this one in the red sneakers. Okay, let's, oh no, they get spotted. Okay, that's good. That's actually exactly what we were looking for. Okay, that's fine. We don't have to follow those anymore. I actually did see a comment talking about the fact that we could assign a security guard to this room right here, and it will probably have them just stood outside this door all the time, guarding these two doors. We'll look at that in just a little bit, is what we'll do. So when it comes to HR for these guys, we want to, I do sort of want some secondary roles. I think education is going to be important. We'll educate like 5 at a time. We're going to be educating for everything except for hardware, I guess, is my thinking. We probably want to do like 3 artists and then maybe, I don't know, 8. So not like, if I just did 9 and 9 and 2, would that be an idea? I want to say that could be an idea. I think that's what we're going to do. And then their specializations, again, are going to be everything for development except for hardware, which I think is totally fine. Their traits then will be big brain, I guess, so we can hopefully max people out a little bit, and we'll see how that goes. We don't necessarily want night owls, although we might end up with some night shift operating system people. I don't really know. We're not going to have people that are breaking things or forgetting their specialization. We're not going to have people take twice as long to eat, not going to the bathroom as much. We'll do something like this, I think, and that'll be totally fine. We'll go for the big brain. We'll try this out. And I guess since we're going for big brain, let's go for medium salaried employees. They're going to be a little bit younger, which means they'll be with us for longer. And it means we're avoiding, hiring people that are in their 60s and retiring after a couple of years. We'll have people between 30 and 50, meaning at minimum, they'll be with us for 14 years. At most, it'll be 34. I'm good at maths, I swear. Yeah, that should be fine. We'll try this out based on that comment, based on that feedback. We will try this out and we'll see what happens with our computer operating systems team is what we'll do. Benefits wise, I do love that you can kind of, is this changing benefits for that team or is this changing benefits for every employee? I have no idea. I have no idea, which is fine. That's okay. So now we need a team leader is what we need. Let's look for a leader and we'll do artist secondary. I think that'll be fine. We can begin looking. And skills wise, we have Amy Brennan. HR and automation is great. Socialization less so. I might honestly drop automation from the search because as much as I will probably automate the operating system team eventually, I'm probably not doing it anytime soon. So actually, let's have a look for someone with socialization as a priority so they can hold meetings and hopefully boost team compatibility. If we begin looking and we sort again, we have Sandra Ramos, we have Phyllis Henderson. Phyllis Henderson is potentially also an artist, which is good. She is the older of the candidates, but that's not the worst thing in the world. I think we'll give this a shot and we'll see if we can have the operating system team holding some meetings. is what we'll do. So congratulations, you are hired. If we go and look at your roles, you are going to be a team leader primary, and then secondary was artist, if I remember correctly. And I think that has changed, which is good. So now that team should be getting hired. We need to go back upstairs. We need to say that this, and this are all being assigned to that operating system team. This room in particular is going to be for our team leaders. And if we turn on labels, we can see that everything is nicely set up, which is perfect. And then it comes to lead designers for this whole thing. And I'm strongly considering the idea of trying to poach someone from another studio to lead this project. That could be kind of interesting. We do have a little bit of skill here for Joanne Mason, but my worry is that creativity. I kind of want to try and get someone that's locked in creatively. So if we look at old software, we look at recent releases. In fact, if we look at most profitable, we have things like Spectrum OS 3 that came out almost 10 years ago. If we look at the details, if we look at the lead designer, it is, nope. Nope. I know it's a real name. I know it's still a real name, but no. Absolutely not. Like, I know it's a real name. I know it was a name before that person. It was a name after that person, but absolutely not. I don't care. Anyway. Okay. We find someone. What about Genesis X4? Do we have a lead? Oh my God, they've retired there as well. What's the most recent? So this came out in 92. This Voyager Shade OS 2. Surely the lead designer is still around. Rosa Perry. Rosa's looking a little on the older side. I hate to say it, but Rosa is looking a little on the older side. If we look to poach you, you're 61. So you would be lead designer for pretty much, you're also not great for that team. You would be lead designer for a while. You do own the IP, which I'm not interested in. You get the golden handshake, which is, you get a luxury car, that's fine. I'm not giving you 24 million. You know what? we're just gonna take a chance, I think, is what we're gonna do. Let's just give creative design, lead design to, I kind of want it to be someone with experience. So I think we give it to, yeah, sure, you can have a pay rise. We'll give it to Joanne Mason is what we'll do. You have a bit of skill in this, so that seems like it makes sense. Gonna be approximately 4 years to do this. So we're looking at 2,000 for doors to come out, which is a little concerning, but that's fine. Let's go ahead and start working on it is what we're gonna do. I'm excited about this, but also a little concerned about the fact that it's gonna be a 4-year development for doors. But hopefully it's good, right? That's the idea. Hopefully it's good. Hopefully it's something that people want to use and experience and enjoy. And hopefully this computer operating system team ends up doing good work. Oh, there we go. We have the operating system team having a little meeting right here. I will say, I know there's not enough chairs in here for everybody, but I really like the layout of this room. I think it looks really neat. So even though there's not enough room for everybody, it just looks cool. It looks a bit evil, but I'm okay with that. Again, we're not beating the Legion of Doom thing, so it's fine. So moving on, let's try out this idea where we assign a guard to this little room right here. We're gonna create a new group. It's gonna be, I guess, we'll just call it like basement door, I suppose is fine for this one. And then what we can do is manage our staff. We can look for our security. And admittedly, I realize that most of them are assigned to the lobby at all times, which is not ideal. But what we'll try here, in fact, no, there are some that are not assigned to the lobby, which is actually okay. So these 3, I guess, get assigned to the basement door. And if we do that, I mean, you're already here, which is good. So do you just stay there, basically? Is that how this works? I'm assuming there'll be like a small window where there's no one at that door because the other security guard's gonna be on the way. I think you should be, yeah, so that one's now showed up. You're now leaving. Yeah, so they just stay there. That's kind of perfect. Yeah, that works. That works perfectly. So we have someone at this door at all times. We have someone at this door at all times. We have someone here at all times and here at all times. The only thing we don't have is, I guess, anyone by the elevators, but no one should be able to get into the lobby while we have security stood at this door. What I could do is add some security to the lobbies up here, but I think we'll be okay. I think we should be okay. We shouldn't need to do that. Now, in other news, Homestead is ready for development, so we will push that forward and see how quickly we get through this expansion. It is a lot of art that is going to have to be done for Homestead, but it looks like it's going to be done in really good time, actually. So let's have a look and see. Dungeons 3 Dimensions come out this April. That's fine. Our other expansions come out in December, in November, January, March, May. I mean, it's September now, and this thing is probably going to be over halfway done by the time we get done with this month. In fact, yeah, that's going very, very quickly. Let's announce this for, I might say November. I'm going to say December, actually. Give it a little bit more time to cook in the marketing oven. I think that'll be fine. We'll go for December. Instantly, 9,000 followers. Marketing can get to work on press releases. They can send out a press build. They can start to hype this thing, and we'll hopefully get some good out of this. That's the idea anyway. We'll hopefully get something decent out of this little expansion. Hopefully that's going to pull people towards, I mean, look, they're going to look at it. They're going to be like, wait, did I fail to print the last? How did I fail to print the copies? What? We have ungodly levels of manufacturing. I want to say that my couriers are not doing enough. I'm assuming there's maybe a limit on how, I honestly don't know, because it says I can move 432 boxes. Maybe it's just because my capacity is 480. So maybe I need another courier, is my thinking. So if we were to go here, maybe we bring, so we have 2 couriers come in the morning. We have 2 in the afternoon, 2 in the evening, and 2 at night. Maybe since we have a gap between 3 a.m. and 8 a.m., we bring another courier in the morning so that we kind of deal with that little backlog that's come about in like the 5 hours where no courier is there. I'm not sure where they're going to park, to be honest. Maybe this will need to be assigned to deliveries as well, just to make sure that they're somewhere nearby. And hopefully that works out. Hopefully that's enough to get us into a good spot. Also, Homestead is doing ridiculous in terms of numbers right now, which is exactly what I want. I'm really hoping that leads to some good things for Dungeons 3. I'm really, really hoping that leads to some good things. That thing got done so quickly as well, which is absolutely amazing. If we have a little bit of a look at our software, and if we have a little bit of a look at Dungeons 3, there's still nothing else to port it to, which is slightly concerning. There is a bit of an update available for the 3D side of things, which is good. We can use voxel to make that happen. Not 100% sure that my updates and porting team has the skill to do that, but apparently they do, which is great. That's nice that they're getting a little bit better at everything they do. And I guess we just wait. I guess we hope that people are super interested in building houses in Dungeons 3. I know I would be. Like I said, building houses in like RuneScape was my favorite thing. Building houses in Minecraft and Hightail, and I've been doing a lot of building in like Fallout 76 recently. So I'm looking forward to this. I've got an optimistic feeling about Homestead. At the very least, I imagine it's going to sell very well initially and then fall off massively. Because as it stands right now, Dungeons 3, while it has made a healthy profit, actually, it does have 220,000 active users as well. Yeah, we might be all right here. Okay, so since we are really close to releasing Homestead, I've gone ahead and set it up for 250,000 copies to be printed in, what do you mean the condition of my, what is wrong with my waiting room? There's not, oh, it's cold. Oh, did I forget to put heating in the I forgot to put heating in the waiting room. That's what I forgot to do. Okay, they might be valid in their complaints about a lack of heating in the waiting room. We could do some ceiling air conditioning, although that's just going to cool things down, I think. I don't think that does much for heating. So where am I going to put a vent? Because I have carpets in here. That's kind of the problem. I guess maybe I just put vents there and there? And does that warm it up enough? It seems like it. We could do, I guess, air conditioning sort of on the other side. And if I maybe change, man, we're technically, remember what I said about how the company wanted to sort of maintain the old marble floor? This would be carving into that marble floor something fierce is what it would be doing. But we can kind of blend them in a little bit like that, which I think is fine. And that should mean that this room is nice and comfortable, which is going to make our visitors that little bit happier. Hopefully. That's a very big hopefully is what it is. It's definitely a very big hopefully. But it is now day 2 of December 1996, which means, oh god, the fire inspector's here tomorrow. Homestead needs to go out. So if we look into manufacturing, we have 70,000 copies in stock. We have quite a few in storage, and we will have couriers picking those up. But I'm not entirely convinced that we're going to have enough of those to... you know what I could do? Now that I think about it, since we don't update expansions, we can sort of just let this sit for a little bit. We can get more copies in stock as time goes on, although we're losing followers. You know what? Let's just release the thing. I'm curious to see how this goes. We're well respected. You see it everywhere. 4 stars? What do you mean 4 stars? Okay, I don't know about that. Let's order, I'm going to take a chance at 100,000 copies. And for the marketing budget, we're going to go for another roughly $40,000. Now, I've seen a couple of comments asking about marketing and why I don't just go for 60, 70,000, $100,000 in marketing budgets to make sure that people know about it. From what I gather, as long as your marketing is listed as unavoidable up here, you've maxed it out. Now, a sweet spot tends to be, from my experience anyway, sort of 40, maybe 35 to 60,000. We've been getting by with $35,000 and $40,000 marketing budgets thus far. We could spend more. We can't afford to spend more. I just genuinely don't know that we need to, especially for something like an expansion. I think we can kind of get away with maybe not spending quite as much. I mean, marketing on this is already widespread, so people do know about it. If we have a little bit of a look at Homestead, let's see how many we've got 229,000 in stock right now. I'm kind of excited about this. I'm hoping for good things from this. I'm really, really hoping for good things from this. I'm wanting it to be good. I'm really hoping Homestead works out for us. I'm hoping it makes us a bunch of money. I'm hoping it encourages people to jump over to 3D systems. We're about to find out is what we're going to do. Minus $40,000 turns into 785,000. Okay. Not as much as I was hoping for, but Dungeons is doing okay. It is sort of increasing in sales now, which is great. So sure, that's a little rough. I guess what we'll do then for Homestead is just set the maximum now to like 30,000 copies. So we're not going to print any more of that until it's down to 30,000 copies or less, which I think is fine. If it sells more, great. If it doesn't, then we'll figure it out. Now, Harmony 3 is ready to go into its alpha phase, which is fantastic. We can kind of leave it in alpha for a little while before we do any marketing for it. What I'm honestly most curious about now is what's going to happen with Guardian. I want to see how Guardian works out. I want to see how it goes, since it is the first automated project that we have going on. I've also noticed that no one has complained about noise ever since we gave them all headphones, which is lovely. Very, very happy with that. And you know what we should also do just while we're here? Can you update these? Now that I think about it, no. You cannot update these, which is good. Let's make sure that everything else is updated though. So Palette Pro is fine. Dungeons 2 still has a lot of active users, so I'm kind of inclined to say that we should give this a bit of an update. There's still some bugs to fix. It just seems like 100,000 active users, we might as well. Harmony 2 is doing quite well. We'll fix some bugs there. Voxel is not doing so good, but we'll fix some bugs there. And then Dungeons 3 will fix those bugs. I guess the original Dungeons, is there anything worth updating there? Probably not. We're probably okay not doing anything with the original Dungeons. And you know, I want it to be on the record that I passed the fire inspection as well. I actually managed to pass the fire inspection for once, which is just great, especially given that I put some more teams in here. The fact that we didn't horrendously fail is incredible, and I'm very happy about that. Oh no, this is interesting, and this is something that I've been looking forward to. We have a hosting deal for Spectrum OS 5, which I'm kind of thinking I want to do. I think we put it on the store server for now, and that'll just make us a little bit of money. The store server is doing just fine as it stands right now as well. So I think that's a good idea. I think that makes sense. Speaking of stores, Marketplace is probably due a bit of an update. We'll bring the systems up to date a little bit, I think, just to make sure that it's good. We still have 32% of the market, almost 33% of the market, which I absolutely adore. If we look at our general income and distribution, the digital store gets us about 100 and let's round it down to 115,000, which is fine by me. So I don't mind that too much. To be completely honest, I don't mind that. I like that we're getting a bit of money out of distribution. That makes me very happy. These updates down here, this Voxel update is done. This Dungeons 3 update is done. Let's get the Harmony 2 update done a little bit quicker if they wouldn't mind. And we'll just sort of work through all of those as time goes, and hopefully it won't take too long to do all of those. Now, having a look at our project management, I don't think there's any way to see how things are going, which is slightly terrifying. Hold on, recommended program is 4 out of 6. Do we not have enough people on this team to make antivirus software? How has that happened? Because there are enough people in that. Am I? Okay, I'm a little concerned about that. I don't quite know what that means or how that works, but sure, I guess that's fine. At the very least, the effectiveness has been maxed out on this task the entire time. There's like 10 people following it, which is not great, but we will see what happens is what we'll do. We will see how this goes. I'm hoping that with time, the antivirus project can get better and better. I'm not expecting a ton of money out of it, but we will see. It is February now, so we shouldn't be too far away from that thing going out. It'll be today or tomorrow, of course. So here's hoping. Here's hoping. Voxel 2 is done with its alpha phase. We'll move that forward as well, which means the 3D team is now the only team working on Voxel 2 because I was the lead designer of that. I will say, I did see a couple of comments talking about the idea of moving me out of the core team and into my own team so that I can act as lead designer on anything where I own the IP. So we could have a dedicated 3D team working on, well, automating something like Voxel, and then just have me involved in the design phase. And then we can have a 2D team dedicated to making more Palette Pro, and then again have me involved in the design phase of that. Because I think at this point with Palette Pro, I think even though it's not my IP technically, I think I am now, yeah, the lead designer, which is fine. It's also run out of potential customers, which is interesting. If we port this, is there anything to port it to? There is Spectrum OS 5. We'll do that. Dungeons 2, we can move that to Spectrum OS 5. Harmony 2, we'll move that to Spectrum OS 5. Voxel can move to Spectrum OS 5. And Dungeons 3, hopefully can move to Spectrum OS 5. We might get some extra sales out of this, which is fantastic. My porting team is going to be swamped with work, which is a little bit unfortunate for them, but they'll manage, I'm sure. I think. they'll be fine. I'm sure they'll not get too stressed working on like 6 things at once. They'll be totally fine. They'll be all right. Is what they'll be. I am sure they will be just fine doing absolutely everything. Anyway, it is now day 2 of February 1997. Good year, if I remember. I don't remember it very well. Do I remember anything from 1997? Probably not. I would have been like 3 for most of it. I think I have some memories from what I think was 1998. I think. I don't know. I'm like doing a dramatic look up towards the ceiling to try and figure out if I remember. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I think I have some vague memories from the late 90s. Anyway, Guardian has gone out. We've narrowed your creativity down a little bit, which is fine. So you are, I mean, yeah, that seems all right. I think we can work with that. That's okay. If we look in here, it hasn't sold yet, which is fine, but we should have, if everything is set up properly, we should have our marketing teams, at least one of them is going to be working on marketing Guardian. I have no idea which one is working on Guardian. I really genuinely have no idea which one is working on. Hold on a minute. If we look in here, here we are. So marketing 2, it doesn't track in their tasks, it tracks in here. So it's being supported by support, it's being marketed by marketing. I have no idea how much money we're putting into marketing this. How much do we need to make for it to break even? Just about 400,000, which is okay, I guess. We'll see how it goes, is what we'll do. We're not going to be doing anything else in this team right now. I think they do have, they have a 2-month release cooldown. I'm going to just change that to 0 and let them just start working on it pretty much right away. They are aiming for December of 1997 for Guardian 2. Guys, hold on a minute. Hold on now. It is February of 90. Absolutely not. Let's give them a little bit more development time here. This one's still going to be December, but we'll give them a little bit more development time, I think, just to make sure that we're not releasing 2 versions of Guardian in the same year. That's a way to really upset the consumers that buy the first one and then the sequel comes. Well, you know, maybe. It's maybe going to upset people. Anyway, looking at Dungeons 3, it is still making money, which is great. Homestead, still making a bit of money, which is great. Harmony, still making money. That's great. Guardian was terrible. It hasn't really done much. That's a little bit embarrassing, but that's okay. I kind of expected that. I'm going to be honest. That was something I had assumed that was going to be the case with everything. We are working on porting it. We are working on updating it. So sure. That's fine, I guess. Let's get some people involved in I'm going to just put everybody on this Dungeons 2 update here. And I think what I'm also going to do is maybe put some other people in some of these port jobs down here to get that. Who cannot concentrate? You. Really? It's a meeting. Of course it's noisy. Get out of here. Oh, this is interesting. We've been nominated for an award. Best employer is, of course, going to be me. And most profitable product is not me. Dungeons 3 Dimensions was 2nd place, though, which is kind of surprising, I guess. I'm okay with that. Dungeons 3, if we actually have a little bit of a look at it, it is doing all right. It's sold. It's also still got 1.5 million in stock. Oh, no. Oh, no. Am I still printing 1.5 million of that? Okay. Let's change this to 50,000. That's a lot more reasonable, is what that is. That's a lot more reasonable. That's a little embarrassing. Anything else we can add it to in terms of porting? There is not. Harmony 3, by the way, is in beta. We should probably start marketing this and figure out when we're putting it out there. Harmony 2 was December of 92. I am very tempted to say December of 97. We're not giving it a lot of marketing time, but we'll go December of 97 and see how this works out. We'll start working on some press releases as we usually do. We will send out a press build. We will start to hype this. And I guess we just generally hope for the best with Harmony 3. I mean, looking at Harmony 2, it did make a good amount of money. So hopefully the next one does as well. We're also a hair away from making a profit off of Guardian, which is just ridiculous. Dungeons 3 is creeping up there a little bit, which is lovely. It is continuing to sell, which is what we want it to be doing. And I guess for printing Harmony, we'll do, I don't know, let's do 100,000 copies for now is what we'll do for that. I'm not really convinced it's going to sell like crazy, but you never know. There's a chance. There are some followers, which is lovely. It's a few months out, so there's always a possibility. And I guess this Dungeons 3 Dimensions port is taking forever. I do only have the updates team on it though, so I think what I'm gonna do is actually put everybody on it so it goes that little bit quicker. And I think that's how we're gonna get through pretty much all of these porting jobs. And this is actually probably a good time to mention that I've said this a bunch of times today, but I have seen some comments that mention the idea that it might be time to split the updates and porting team into 2 separate teams and possibly look into getting some additional updates teams so that we can have updates being worked on pretty much all through the day. So a day shift and a night shift for that. Porting might be something similar. Might not be a terrible idea to get sort of more round-the-clock work being done on that, so we can always make sure that our software is on the latest systems so that it's always updated as well. I think that would be a good idea. I'm curious to see how it goes when we get around to doing that. It's not going to be a today thing, but probably in the next episode, that's likely when we're going to get around to doing that. Now, Guardian 2 does have more followers than Guardian 1, which I guess is great. Guardian 1 has now made money, which is, sure. Sure, I guess. That's fine. It's not made a lot of money, but it's technically made money, which is better than not making money. Okay, so it is day 1 of December 1997, which means we are 1 day away from Harmony 3 being released. This is also when Voxel 2 has reached its beta phase, which is very exciting. Voxel came out in October of 93. So do we want to give it 10 months of beta for Voxel 2, or do I want to maybe aim for like a summer release on this? I do know that we can get a good marketing window of about 2 years for anything that we do. So I think maybe we do just aim for October. We'll give it, 10 months of marketing and that'll be fine, I guess, is what we do. I think we just announce it for October. We can start working on a press release. We don't have to release it right away, but we can start working on this so that it's there and it's ready to go, I suppose. We'll start hyping it as well because we need to make sure that people are aware of it and that they sort of care about it. And I guess we'll start printing it as well. I mean, how did the first one do? We'll do 250,000 as the goal here, I suppose. Guardian 2 is aiming for, that's a little bit embarrassing, but sure, it's aiming for like 52, which is sure, I guess. Yeah, all right. It's not, they're not ambitious with Guardian, but that's fine. It'll be out in no time at all. It does have more followers than the first one did, and it is technically gaining followers as well. So that's nice. I guess that's a good thing. And I guess the fact that it made money is, I mean, it's done all right. It's been doing like 100,000 every day. So it's doing okay. It's just, it could be doing better. Dungeons 3 as well is just it's just chugging along. It's doing really well for itself. There's 500,000 active users right now. So I think we need to do another expansion for Dungeons 3, but I think that can be a 1998 kind of thing. And again, as always, if you have ideas for Dungeons expansions, then do make sure to let me know. But let's go ahead and get Harmony 3 out the door. Let's see what people happen to think of this. Brilliance shines through, 5 stars. Very stable, 5 stars. Great quality, 5 stars. That is what we want to see. Let's give this thing a $50,000 marketing budget. We're not going to order any copies because I don't think we need to. If we have a look here, there are 100,000 in stock. That'll probably be fine, is my thinking. If we look at Harmony here, I think we aim for 50,000 in stock for the time being, just to make sure that we don't end up overdoing it. And we hope for the best is what we do. We hope for the best with Harmony 3. We'll make it the top priority for marketing. We'll bring Dungeons 3 down to maybe a 9. This is a press release for Voxel 2, so we're not really too worried about that. And I guess we should also make sure that this is updated. So the systems, the 2D, and the audio need to come up to date. We're not using Picture Premium, so we will need to go back to Palette Pro. We will need to update the 2D and the systems. And I'm just going to give this to everyone to try and get it done as quickly as possible, so that we can hopefully get Harmony 3 updated and all that good stuff as well. We will want to port this guy as well, now that I think about it. Spectrum OS 5 is doing very well for itself. We'll give that port job to everyone as well. But I think the update kind of needs to be the priority so that I can, or the update for Palette Pro needs to be the priority so that I can then go ahead and update Harmony 3. And there we go. We can finally update Harmony 3. We'll send that out to everybody. Guardian 2 has gone out the door. It needs to make even less money than the last one to make a profit, which is hilarious. That's fine. They're now designing Guardian 3, which is aiming for March of 1999. That's a little bit more what I'm looking for. I'm okay with that. I might bring the dev time down to 110% just to make sure that it's, you know, if we can get it to be yearly, I'm okay with that. I'm very curious to see how Guardian 2 does when compared to that first one, for sure. Very, very curious about that. I also think we're going to bring the updates duration for these guys down to about 18 months instead of 2 years, because I don't think if we're releasing these yearly, then you get a year and 6 months of coverage, and then you need to move on to the next one. I know it's not great business practice, but it's what we're doing with the company. Anyway, how are we doing with Harmony? 2.7 million is kind of fantastic news. Very, very happy with that. 16,000 for Guardian 2. All right. Yeah, that's, it's not great. It's not been marketed very well, so that kind of checks out. That's not the end of the world. We're doing okay, though. I mean, Guardian, or rather Harmony 3 is, yeah. We'll get it updated. We'll get it ported. I guess everything's all right for Nerdrosoft is what it is. We can stop supporting Palette Pro, I think. It's a little bit dead in the water. Voxel as well, we'll stop supporting that. Marketplace, 7.7 million users. 56,000 people still playing Dungeons 2. Almost 500,000 in Dungeons 3. I like where we are. I feel pretty good about where Nerdrosoft is as a company right now. It's going pretty well for us. I think. I think it's going pretty well for us. Doors is into its 4th iteration. We passed the fire inspection again, which is exactly what we wanted to do. Someone's not happy about my waiting room. You know what? I don't care. I'm happy with my waiting room, so they can shove it. I like my waiting room. I don't care if anybody else likes the waiting room. Now, if we can get this update done, I will be very, very happy about that. Harmony, again, 2.7 million is what we're looking for. Dungeons 3 still chugging along. This, now, what are you guys going to try and do here? Do we have we do have security at the back door, so I'm assuming, yeah, they get run off, which is perfect. That's what we're looking for. Anyway, all things considered, I think we're in a really good place with Nerdrosoft right now. We're definitely in a very cozy place with Nerdrosoft right now. And so I think that means we can leave it there for today. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. This has been an absolute pleasure, as always. And as always, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.